What's going on, YouTube? I'm AJ, and this is my gun review. Today, I'm going to be covering the Cabot Insurrection. Now, this is a gun I've been interested in reviewing for a while. It has several unique features to the double stack market that are certainly worth covering. Now, to start, some may know that I've not always been the biggest fan of Cabot. Has nothing to do with their build quality per se, but more their build philosophy. Quite simply, I view Cabot as the antithesis of what I love about the custom 1911. I like hand-fit, handmade 1911s, whereas Cabot takes a excellence in machining approach. Now, it's not unreasonable to expect modern machines to be able to achieve the tight tolerances and make a consistently excellent 1911, but it does take a little bit of the romance away, and there's certainly an argument that there's tolerances left on the table because of it. Now, that added to some of the most ridiculous and gaudy products and marketing schemes in the firearm industry is why I've largely ignored Cabot over the years. With that said, I'm approaching this review as impartially as I can, and right off the bat, notice some things that seem to be a step in the right direction for the company. This example of the Insurrection is a 5-inch ported bushing barrel gun with a steel frame and steel grip module. The gun is completely in stainless, making it one of the most silver guns I've ever seen. I'm reminded a lot of a traditional single stack gun. The way it feels in hand, the way it presents, the way the trigger is tuned. This seems more geared to a single stack shooter than most of the double stacks that I'm aware of on the market. So let's go ahead and dig into that. The slide to frame fit on this particular example is very nice with no movement in any direction. A Marvel disconnector cut is present, making a very smooth slide action. The barrel is a bushing barrel. The bushing fit fairly loose. Also has 4 V-ports. They don't seem to do a ton for recoil reduction, but overall the pistol does shoot soft and smooth. The slide top is tri-topped with a nice 3-line arrow pattern. The serrations provide good traction, though admittedly I don't love the extra line put in the middle of them from a stylistic standpoint. The front sight is unique in that it is dovetailed from the front instead of the sides, making for a overall very clean design. The optic plate is something that Cabot does particularly well. It is an evolution of the Trigicon optic plate design. Allows the optic to be canted slightly forward, making for easier acquisition of the dot. The rear sight is also thinner than the Trigicon design, made of steel instead of aluminum. And being that it's thinner, allows the optic to be moved further back so that your SRO's window does not overhang the ejection port. The frame is interesting on this pistol. There is this cutout right here that serves as a makeshift gas pedal. Overall, it's well blended. The grip is something it's very obvious someone at Cabot put a lot of attention to. Reminiscent of a traditional single stack, though a little bit blockier. It's fairly thin in profile, and in actual measurement is similar in circumference to my Staccato CS. The grip texture provides a good traction without being overly aggressive. I do wish that the traction was brought higher up on the front strap. I hate this middle finger empty area. But it's very well blended to the frame, with no hot spots present. It's a little sharp under the trigger guard right here, but not bad. A little hand filing would have likely corrected that. The mag release is unique to this pistol. Again, blended very well. It's also unique and that is a flat checkered design. Very rarely see checkered designs on 2011s, a market which is largely dominated by tapped and threaded Dawson pieces, which, though effective, are not particularly attractive. The beaver tail is fairly well blended. This has not always been the case with Cabots. They use a classic style of blending where it is a complete blend in the complete depressed position. The thumb safety, also well blended. The action is nice. I like that they blended towards the front of the thumb safety. What that does is when you're gripping, doesn't allow a little pinch point right in here on the meat of your hand when gripping down. I will note there's some slight mush at the bottom, and while not bad, in my opinion should not be present on a pistol that costs as much as this one does. Slide stop is also well done, though the paddle is a little shallow for my taste. This nice relief cut right here makes it easy to access. And you'll note right here, this relief cut underneath the paddle is large and well dehorned. It is one of the best applications of this that I've seen on any 2011 I've used. The trigger is a shallow curve, serrated on the front and rounded on the sides, medium length. Slight take up with your proverbial glass rod brake at about 3¼ pounds. Reset is direct. Overall, nice brake. It's not anything particularly special in the 2011 world, especially compared to the likes of something like an Atlas or an Infinity, but it should be very familiar for a semi-custom single stack shooter. The magwell area is large, nicely blended, and there is a magwell option available for this gun. Overall, it's a fairly handsome piece. I will say I've always been a fan of Cabot's high ball cuts. I don't know, I think they look cool. Admittedly, this gun has more branding than I'd care for. I could do without the Cabot shields, the Cabot logo on the rear of the slide, and this absolutely heinous indiscretion or insurrection text on the top of the barrel. Shave that off, shave all that off, you're left with a pretty good looking gun. But does it shoot? Well, yes, but with a bit of a caveat. When I first brought it out, it was next to Infinity Atlas, Sheeran, and compared to those big dogs, it just didn't compare. Those are the monsters of the 2011 universe. Compared to a normal gun, your striker fire guns, or even nice 1911s, this gun shoots beautifully. So when I brought it out by itself, tested it out in isolation, I was able to really get in a nice groove with this gun. Like I keep alluding to, it felt familiar to me, like a single stack Dan Wesson, or even a Wilson. The gun is heavy, but not overbearingly so. It wasn't particularly lethargic. And although it gave up a little bit on the split times to some of the big dogs, it still was pretty competent. I felt like if this was the only 2011 I was running, I could really grow into it. So, the be-all end-all? No. But still, a very nice 2011 offering. Final thoughts. My friend that owns this pistol warned me that I'd like it, and he was correct. Despite a few options I wish I could remove from the build sheet, overall, the pistol provides a lot of unique, well thought out features that make for a fairly appealing package. It seems Cabot has been paying attention to the marketplace before releasing this product, and though I wish they'd have listened to Rob a little bit more on the final details, the end product is a solid double stack offering. Overall, this is a very solid maiden offering from Cabot, especially for those shooters who like that single stack experience, even if the name is dumb.